First contact and deception. General Maya Chen stood at her command post in the underground TERA defense complex, studying the massive holographic display that showed humanity's greatest secret. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, hidden from both civilian eyes and alien surveillance, lay the fruits of 30 years of silent preparation. Earth's true defense fleet. The aliens had arrived 6 months ago, their massive ships appearing in high orbit with no warning. The Galactic Confederation, they called themselves. They came bearing gifts of limited technology and promises of eventually welcoming humanity into their fold, once we had matured sufficiently under their guidance. Chen smiled grimly as she watched the latest transmission from the Confederation's embassy in Geneva. Ambassador Xortal, with his iridescent scales and multiple eyes, was once again explaining why humanity wasn't ready for advanced propulsion technology. Their ships were concerned about Earth's aggressive tendencies and needed to establish a protective oversight of human space development. They still haven't detected anything, Chen asked her technical chief. Dr. Sarah Martinez shook her head, her dark eyes gleaming with pride. The quantum masking field is holding perfectly, General. As far as their sensors can tell, we're still launching chemical rockets and struggling with basic ion engines. The truth was far different. The ships before them represented humanity's response to a discovery made 3 decades ago: the detection of alien surveillance satellites at the edge of the solar system. Instead of announcing the finding, Earth's nations had done something unprecedented. They had united in secret, pooling their resources to prepare for the inevitable first contact. Status report on the Aegis, Chen asked, focusing on the largest vessel in the hidden fleet. Final system checks are complete, Martins replied. The gravitational phase drive is operating within expected parameters, and the adaptive shield matrix is stable. She's ready. Chen nodded, her attention drawn to a priority alert flashing on her neural link. The Confederation's Council had just voted on their latest protection initiative. As expected, they were moving to establish a permanent oversight base on Luna, complete with defensive capabilities. They're following the same pattern as the Rigel and Centauri systems, her strategic advisor, Colonel James Wright, observed. Establish a foothold under the guise of protection, gradually expand control until the planet is effectively a client state. Time to show them why that was a mistake, Chen said quietly. She opened a secure channel to all fleet commanders. Operation Eclipse is now active. All units prepare for Phase 1. Throughout the underwater base, crews moved with practiced precision. This wasn't a drill. They had trained for this moment for years. The Confederation thought they were dealing with a primitive species that had barely reached their moon. They were about to learn how wrong they were. In Geneva, Ambassador Xortal was delivering his carefully prepared speech about the new lunar base when the first signs appeared. His staff noticed it first, subtle distortions in their sensors, readings that made no sense. By the time they realized something was wrong, it was too late. The quantum masking field that had hidden humanity's true capabilities for decades began to fail, exactly as planned. Across Earth, hidden facilities became visible to alien sensors. But it was what appeared in the deep Pacific that caused panic in the Confederation embassy. Ships, hundreds of them. Not the primitive vessels the aliens had expected, but advanced warships incorporating technologies the Confederation thought impossible for humanity to possess. And at their center, rising from the ocean like a leviathan, was the Aegis, a vessel larger than anything in the Confederation fleet. In the TERA command center, Chen watched the chaos unfold through the Confederation's own communications. Their carefully maintained image of superior benefactors was cracking as they realized the extent of their miscalculation. Signal from the Aegis, Martins reported. Captain Rivera reports all systems nominal and awaits your command. Chen straightened her uniform, a sense of historical weight settling on her shoulders. Send to all ships. Execute Operation Eclipse. Show them exactly what humanity can do when we're underestimated. The Aegis rose into the sky, its massive form defying gravity through technologies The Confederation had fought centuries beyond human capability. Behind it came the rest of the fleet, each vessel representing a different aspect of human innovation and determination. As alarms blared through the Confederation embassy, Ambassador Xortel received a transmission from General Chen. Her message was simple: perhaps now would be a good time to discuss a more equitable relationship between our peoples. The first phase of humanity's revelation was complete, but as Chen knew, this was just the beginning. The real test would come when the Confederation decided how to respond to the discovery that their primitive charges had not only matched, but in many ways exceeded their technological capabilities. "Better prepare the diplomatic package," she told Colonel Wright. "They'll either accept us as equals now, or we'll have to demonstrate why that's their only viable option." The next few hours would reshape the galaxy's understanding of humanity forever. And Maya Chen, watching her fleet take position around Earth, felt a fierce pride. The Confederation had come to guide what they saw as primitives. Instead, they would learn why humanity had survived and thrived against all odds throughout its history. The game of deception was over. Now came the true test of who would shape humanity's place among the stars: the Hidden Fleet. The Confederation's diplomatic chamber erupted into chaos as the holographic display showed the impossible. Earth's Hidden Fleet hung in perfect formation around their planet, their hulls gleaming with technology that shouldn't exist. Ambassador Xortel's scales had turned a pale shade of green, a sign of extreme distress in his species. "Preposterous," shouted Representative Catal of the Proxian Empire. "These must be holograms, sensor ghosts. No Level 2 civilization could have developed quantum-shifted dry systems." The chamber fell silent as a new hologram appeared: General Maya Chen, her expression calm but carrying an unmistakable air of authority. "I assure you, Representative Catal, everything you're seeing is quite real. Though I'm curious, how did you recognize our drive system so quickly?" The Proxian representative's face frills twitched in agitation. They had just revealed their own surveillance capabilities, a fact Chen had counted on. The Confederation's facade of benevolent guides was cracking by the minute. In the Aegis's command center, Captain Diana Rivera watched the diplomatic feed with quiet satisfaction. Her ship, humanity's masterpiece, represented everything the Confederation had wrongly assumed impossible for Earth. The vessel's neural interface hummed in her mind, connecting her to every system through quantum entanglement protocols that the aliens thought wouldn't be discovered for centuries. Multiple Confederation warships detected entering the system, reported her tactical officer, Lieutenant James Chen. 17 vessels, Dracon class. They're attempting to maintain stealth protocols. Rivera allowed herself a small smile. "Are they now? Deploy the quantum mesh. Let's show them what real stealth technology looks like." Throughout the solar system, microscopic quantum-linked satellites activated, creating a sensor web that made traditional stealth systems obsolete. On her command screen, Rivera watched as the incoming Confederation ships became visible, their positions marked clear as day. "Interesting," she murmured. "They're positioning for a standard Confederation containment pattern. Very by the book." She opened a channel to TRA Command. "General Chen, it appears some elements of the Confederation are less interested in diplomatic solutions than others." In the diplomatic chamber, Chen's hologram turned to address the council. "Would anyone care to explain why a battle fleet is entering our system while we're conducting diplomatic discussions?" The chamber erupted again, but this time with accusations between Confederation members. It was exactly as Earth's intelligence had predicted. The Confederation wasn't nearly as united as they pretended to be. "Captain Rivera." Chen's secure message appeared in Rivera's neural feed: "Initiate Operation Lighthouse." Throughout the ages, crews moved with practiced precision. The ship's quantum core hummed to life, energy flowing through systems that represented humanity's greatest technological achievements. The vessel's hull began to shift, panels realigning as it prepared to reveal its true capabilities. "They're targeting their weapons," Lieutenant Chen reported, monitoring the incoming fleet. "Standard Confederation targeting protocols." "Wait." He paused, confusion evident in his voice. "Captain, their targeting systems just went offline. All of them." Rivera nodded. The Aegis wasn't just a warship. It was humanity's answer to decades of Confederation superiority. Its quantum fields could disrupt any technology based on conventional physics. The approaching fleet had just discovered that their carefully maintained technological advantage meant nothing. In the diplomatic chamber, Chen watched the reaction as the Confederation realized their fleet had been effectively neutralized without a single shot being fired. "Perhaps now," she suggested mildly, "we should discuss the real reason for your interest in Earth." The Aegis moved forward, its massive form graceful despite its size. Around it, Earth's fleet maintained their perfect formation, each ship representing a different aspect of human innovation. Some bent light around their hulls, others existed partially out of phase with normal space. All of them demonstrated technologies the Confederation had thought impossible for humanity to achieve. "Your species," Ambassador Tortle said slowly, "has vastly exceeded our projections." "No," Chen corrected. "Your projections were based on what we wanted you to see. Humanity learned long ago that appearing weak while building strength was often the wisest course. We knew you were watching, knew you would come. Everything you've seen of Earth for the past 30 years was carefully crafted to meet your expectations." The incoming Confederation fleet hung powerless in space, their sophisticated systems rendered useless by technology they couldn't understand. Captain Rivera watched through the Aegis's sensors as their crews struggled to comprehend what was happening. "General," she reported, "we're detecting quantum communications between several council members and unknown locations outside the system. It appears some of them had plans they didn't share with their colleagues." Chen's smile carried a predatory edge. "Of course they did. Humanity's greatest advantage isn't our technology, Ambassador Xortal. It's our understanding of politics and power. Your Confederation isn't the unified force you pretend to be. And now everyone knows it." The Aegis's presence had shifted the balance of power in ways the Confederation was only beginning to understand. But as Rivera prepared her ship for what would come next, she knew this was just the beginning. The real test would come when those hidden powers within the Confederation decided how to respond to humanity's revelation. The game had changed, and humanity had just shown they knew all the rules, including the ones no one was supposed to mention. Battle of the Void. The peace lasted exactly 6 hours and 17 minutes. Captain Rivera was reviewing quantum core diagnostics when the Aegis's sensors detected the first signs. Massive distortions in spacetime, far larger than any standard Confederation jump signature. Lieutenant Chen's hands flew across his neural interface, data streaming directly into his consciousness. "Multiple hostile contacts," he reported, voice tight. "These aren't Confederation designs, Captain. Energy signatures match restricted military profiles from the Proxian Empire's Black Projects division." Rivera's eyes narrowed. The Proxians, the militant faction that had always opposed peaceful contact with lesser species. Of course they would have a contingency plan. Tactical analysis. 37 warships, Captain. Latest generation quantum drives. Advanced weapons platforms. They're running dark, but our mesh is picking up energy bleeds from something new, something big. In TORA command, General Chen watched the situation unfold with growing concern. The Proxian vessels were arranging themselves in an attack formation that didn't match any known Confederation doctrine. This wasn't a standard military response. This was something they'd been preparing for a long time. All ships, combat stations, Chen ordered across the fleet command network. "Execute Formation Omega, Captain Rivera. The Aegis is cleared for full combat protocols." Throughout Earth's fleet, crews moved with practiced efficiency. Ships shifted positions, creating overlapping fields of fire, while the Aegis took point position. Inside the massive flagship, Rivera felt the ship's systems fully awakening as combat restrictions were lifted. The Proxian fleet's commander broadcast on all frequencies, his holographic image appearing with deliberate menace. Primitive species will submit to superior force or face extinction. Your deception ends now. Rivera exchanged a glance with Lieutenant Chen. They still think we've been showing everything we have, she said quietly. Signal the fleet. Operation Checkmate is now active. The space between the fleets erupted in quantum fire as the Proxians launched their first strike. Advanced energy weapons, supposedly beyond humanity's ability to defend against, lashed out at Earth's vessels. They hit nothing. Earth's ships shifted and phased, quantum fields bending reality around them. The Aegis's own defensive systems went far beyond simple evasion. Space itself seemed to twist and fold, creating paths that should have been impossible. Return fire, Rivera ordered calmly. Show them what human innovation really means. The Aegis's primary weapons weren't the energy cannons or missile systems the Proxians expected. Instead, thousands of quantum-linked drones deployed from hidden bays, each one carrying a miniaturized version of the ship's reality-warping technology. The Proxian fleet found itself fighting an enemy that seemed to ignore the basic laws of physics. Drones phased through their shields, appearing inside their ships to disable critical systems. Others created localized time distortions, trapping sections of their fleet in temporal bubbles, where seconds stretched into hours. Hostile vessels attempting to concentrate fire on Grid 7, Lieutenant Chen reported. Their weapons are adapting, trying to match our phase frequencies. Execute Protocol Sunset, Rivera commanded. The Aegis's quantum core pulsed, sending a wave of distorted space-time rippling through the battlefield. Ships that had been trying to target Earth's fleet suddenly found themselves shooting at afterimages, their advanced targeting systems unable to distinguish between multiple quantum states of reality. In TRA Command, General Chen received a priority alert. The Confederation's Emergency Council was in session, watching the battle with growing alarm. The Proxian Empire's representatives were noticeably absent. We're detecting power buildups in the Proxian flagship, Lieutenant Chen warned. Energy signatures are off the scale. They're preparing to deploy something massive. The enemy flagship's hull split open, revealing what looked like a miniature sun. It contained quantum singularity weapon. The kind of technology that was supposed to be theoretically impossible. Rivera's lips curved in a grim smile. So that's their ultimate weapon. The one they'd been saving to maintain control of the Confederation. She opened a channel to all Earth ships. Execute Protocol Kingmaker. The Aegis's own hull began to transform, panels sliding away to reveal its true nature. The quantum core wasn't just a power source. It was a dimensional anchor point, allowing the ship to exist partially outside normal spacetime. Target their quantum singularity, Rivera ordered. Show them why playing with forces you don't fully understand is dangerous. The Aegis fired, not a weapon in the conventional sense, but a focused point of altered reality. The Proxian weapon, designed to tear apart matter at the quantum level, met something that simply didn't play by the rules of standard physics. The resulting cascade was spectacular. The Proxian flagship's weapon collapsed in on itself, taking several nearby ships with it into a controlled quantum implosion. The remaining Proxian vessels found themselves trapped between Earth's fleet and the expanding edge of distorted spacetime. Message from the Confederation Council, Lieutenant Chen reported. They're demanding an immediate cessation of hostilities. Several member races are already denouncing the Proxian Empire's actions as unauthorized aggression. General Chen's voice came across the command channel. The Proxians just revealed their secret weapon to the entire Confederation. Now everyone knows they've been developing prohibited technology. Accept their surrender, Captain. The political fallout from this will do more damage than our weapons ever could. Rivera watched as the remaining Proxian ships powered down their weapons, their crews finally realizing the full extent of their miscalculation. Earth hadn't just matched their technology. They'd developed entirely new ways of thinking about physics and warfare. The Battle of the Void would be remembered as the day humanity announced their true presence on the galactic stage. But as Rivera ordered rescue operations for the damaged Proxian vessels, she knew the real victory wasn't in the fighting. It was enforcing the Confederation to face its own internal corruption. The game of shadows was over. Now came the harder task of reshaping the galaxy's future. The truth unveiled. The Confederation's Emergency Council chamber was deathly quiet as Admiral Sarah Martinez, Earth's newly appointed diplomatic representative, presented the evidence. Quantum encrypted data streams showed years of illegal weapons development, secret meetings, and carefully hidden transactions between the Proxian Empire and various council members. For decades, Martine stated, her voice carrying clearly through the vast chamber, certain elements within the Confederation have been systematically suppressing emerging civilizations, not out of concern for galactic stability, but to maintain technological monopolies and prevent economic competition. The holographic displays showed damning proof, the same pattern repeated across dozens of worlds, promising civilizations contained, restricted, and sometimes deliberately sabotage. Earth hadn't been the first target of this conspiracy, but they had been the first to see it coming. On the Aegis, now in high orbit around Earth, Captain Rivera watched the council session through quantum feeds. Beside her, Lieutenant Chen analyzed the reactions of various council representatives, their biological signatures telling a story their diplomatic facades couldn't hide. 17 species showing stress responses consistent with guilty knowledge, he reported. Another 23 displaying signs of genuine shock. The Confederation is fracturing exactly as predicted. Rivera nodded. Earth's victory in the void had been impressive, but this was the real weapon. Truth, deployed with surgical precision at exactly the right moment. In TRA Command, General Chen monitored a different kind of battlefield. The galactic information networks were exploding with leaked data about the Proxian Empire's secret research bases, their forbidden weapons programs, and most damaging of all, their long-term plans for dominating the Confederation through technological superiority. The Artaxian Federation is demanding an immediate investigation, her intelligence chief reported. 3 other major powers are supporting their motion. The Proxian representatives are attempting to leave the council chamber, but they're being detained by Confederation security forces. The carefully maintained image of a unified, benevolent Confederation was shattering. Centuries of hidden power plays and secret agendas were being exposed to the harsh light of public scrutiny. Admiral Martinez continued her presentation, each word carefully chosen. Earth could have revealed this conspiracy immediately upon detecting your surveillance satellites 30 years ago. Instead, we chose to watch, to gather evidence, and to prepare. Not just for our own defense, but for the sake of every species that has been denied their right to grow and develop naturally. The quantum displays showed more data, the true technological capabilities of supposedly primitive worlds, deliberately hidden from Confederation observers. Earth hadn't been alone in their deception, just the most successful at it. Representative Catal. Martines addressed the Proxian diplomat directly. Would you care to explain why your empire has been systematically sabotaging the technological development of the Centauri worlds? Or shall we discuss the quantum plague your scientists engineered to target the Rigelian biotechnology sector? The chamber erupted in overlapping voices as species after species recognized how they had been manipulated. The Proxian Empire's carefully constructed network of influence was collapsing in real time. On the Aegis, Rivera received a priority alert. Multiple quantum signatures detected at the system's edge, Lieutenant Chen reported. Ships dropping out of FTL. It's the Artaxian battle fleet. They're requesting permission to assist in securing Proxian military assets. Rivera smiled. The Artaxians, longtime rivals of the Proxian Empire, had been waiting for exactly this kind of opportunity. Earth's revelation had provided the perfect excuse for them to act against their ancient enemies. In the council chamber, Martinez was delivering the final blow. Earth proposes a complete restructuring of the Confederation's technological oversight protocols. No more artificial restrictions, no more suppression of innovation. Every species deserves the chance to develop according to their own path, not one dictated by hidden powers seeking to maintain their advantage. The quantum feeds showed the reaction rippling through galactic society. Worlds that had been kept deliberately weak were rising up, demanding answers from their supposed protectors. The Confederation's carefully maintained hierarchy was dissolving. Message from General Chen. Lieutenant Chen announced, Operation Truth Cascade is proceeding as planned. Multiple worlds are reporting the discovery of proxy and sabotage devices in their research facilities. The evidence trails are lighting up across the galaxy. Rivera nodded. Earth hadn't just defeated the Proxian fleet. They had engineered the perfect moment to expose centuries of manipulation and control. The battle in space had been impressive, but the real victory was being won in council chambers and data networks across the galaxy. The Confederation Security Council is convening an emergency session, Martins reported from the chamber. They're voting to suspend all Proxian representatives and freeze their assets pending a full investigation. The galaxy was changing, power structures that had stood for centuries crumbling in the face of revealed truth. But as Rivera watched the chaos unfold, she knew this was just the beginning. Earth hadn't fought this battle simply to replace one form of control with another. They had fought to break the chains holding back countless civilizations, to create a galaxy where innovation and progress couldn't be suppressed by those seeking to maintain their power. The hard part, building something better from the ashes of the old system, was just beginning. A new dawn. 1 year after the Battle of the Void, the Earth ship Aegis hovered above a newly constructed space station at the edge of the Sol system. The station, officially named Unity Point, but already nicknamed New Geneva by its human crew, represented everything that had changed in the galaxy. Captain Rivera stood on the station's observation deck, watching ships from 24 different species dock and depart. Each vessel carried technology that would have been forbidden under the old Confederation rules. The quantum link in her mind hummed with constant updates as humanity's innovative drive spread across the stars. The Rigelians have successfully adapted our phase shift technology to their bioships, Lieutenant Chen reported, joining her at the window. Their organic quantum cores are showing a 300% efficiency improvement over traditional systems. Rivera nodded, pride evident in her expression. Where the old Confederation had hoarded knowledge, Earth had chosen to share it. The results had exceeded even their most optimistic predictions. In the station's central chamber, General Chen led the first session of the new Galactic Innovation Council. Representatives from former primitive worlds sat alongside delegates from established powers, their voices carrying equal weight in discussions about technological development and interstellar cooperation. The Centauri biomechanical integration protocols have been successfully merged with Artaxian quantum computing, a young scientist was explaining, her holographic display showing impossibly complex systems working in harmony. We estimate this combined technology will revolutionize medical treatment across the galaxy within 5 years. The fall of the Proxian Empire had revealed the true extent of technological suppression across known space. Dozens of worlds had been sitting on revolutionary innovations, hiding them from Confederation observers just as Earth had. Now, freed from artificial restrictions, these civilizations were sharing their discoveries, creating combinations no single species could have developed alone. Admiral Martinez, now Earth's permanent representative to the new council, watched the proceedings with satisfaction. The quantum plague engineered by the Proxians had been turned into a medical breakthrough once Earth's scientists collaborated with Rigelian biotechnology experts. What was meant as a weapon had become a cure for several previously untreatable conditions. Message from the Artaxian fleet. Lieutenant Chen reported to Rivera. They've completed their survey of the former Proxian restricted zones. 3 more suppressed civilizations discovered, all showing signs of hidden technological development. They're requesting Earth advisors to help with first contact protocols. Rivera smiled. Humanity's approach to dealing with less developed worlds had become the new standard: open communication, technological sharing, and respect for natural development patterns. The days of artificial restrictions and forced guidance were over. In TRA Command, now serving as a hub for interstellar cooperation, Teams of scientists from across the galaxy worked together, combining technologies in ways the old Confederation would have forbidden. The quantum mesh that had given Earth's fleet its edge in battle was being adapted into a galaxy-wide communication network, connecting civilizations that had been deliberately kept isolated. The Proxian Reformation government is requesting additional technical advisors, General Chen announced to the Council. Their young scientists are especially interested in our quantum physics education programs. The irony wasn't lost on anyone present. The empire that had tried to maintain its power through suppression was now eagerly learning from those they had once dismissed as primitives. Their advanced weapons and secret research had proven less valuable than humanity's innovative spirit and willingness to collaborate. Unity Point's quantum cores pulsed with energy as another ship arrived, this one of completely new design, combining technologies from 6 different species. It represented everything the New Order stood for: cooperation, innovation, and the free exchange of ideas. The galaxy's changing faster than anyone predicted, Lieutenant Chen observed, watching the ship dock. Some of the older Confederation members are still struggling to adapt to the new reality. Change isn't easy, Rivera replied, but it's necessary. The old system was built on fear and control. We're building something based on trust and shared progress. In the council chamber, Martinez was presenting Earth's latest proposal, a galaxy-wide educational network that would allow any species to access the combined knowledge of all member worlds. The very idea would have been considered dangerously destabilizing under the old regime. The quantum feeds showed similar scenes playing out across known space. Former enemies were becoming research partners. Restricted technologies were being combined in revolutionary ways. The artificial barriers that had kept civilizations isolated and controlled were falling one by one. As Rivera prepared the Aegis for its next mission, helping a newly contacted world join the galactic community, she reflected on how far they'd come. Earth hadn't just changed the balance of power, they had fundamentally altered how species interacted with each other. The age of suppression and control was over. A new dawn had arrived, bringing with it a galaxy where innovation and cooperation replaced fear and domination. Humanity had done more than prove their worth among the stars. They had shown a better way forward for all species. The quantum mesh carried messages between worlds that had never been allowed to communicate before. New discoveries were being made daily, as technologies previously kept separate were combined in unexpected ways. And at the heart of it all was the simple truth that had guided Earth's actions from the start. Progress couldn't be contained, only shared. The stars themselves seemed brighter somehow, as if reflecting the new hope spreading across the galaxy. The future was uncertain, but for the first time in centuries, it was truly free to unfold according to the combined potential of all species working together. Unity Point rotated slowly against the backdrop of space, a symbol of everything that had changed. And in its halls, the next generation of innovations was already taking shape, unrestricted by the fears and prejudices of the past.